Hello, I'm Emily Tickner, and I'm here today with Croson, a photographer here in SLO. So thank you so much for letting me interview you.
Absolutely.
I first want to start by just letting me know your business and like your position and everything about your photography.
I am a photographer, and I've been doing that for about 7 years now. And I work mainly with Cal Poly students and sorority women. I do mainly college senior photos. I also do weddings and business headshots, etc. And my business has allowed me to expand into a budding nonprofit organization, which is amazing. Working with young women, as well as I have a magazine that's applicable to the graphic communications. We actually had a GC student who ran the whole thing a couple years ago.
Wow.
So that was amazing, and yeah, that's what I do.
So my first question is what's your favorite part about your job?
I love my job because I love loving my job. I am just so appreciative that I see people who work jobs that they don't like, and I always think what you do with your days is what you do with your life. And I have the control to do a magazine if I want to do a magazine, or run a clothing swap and call it part of my business or whatever. And so being able to have some not even control, but just flexibility to do what I do. But with the photography portion, I really just love making people feel good. It's such a cool thing. That's my job is to do that. And I love being able to do that with photography.
I love that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so my next question is, do you have any struggles that you encounter with this position?
So I think throughout the whole process is that at a certain, I was doing it by myself for so long, because I'm just one person, I'm a photographer, and so it's not I needed a team in the beginning. And then as I grew and grew, I needed to hire people underneath me, and I had to develop protocols and standard operating procedures and be this is how I do things. When that was so difficult because I had been doing it by myself, so I was I don't know, I just do it. I don't know, you just do the things. And now I need to have step one, do this, step two, do this, and in this order. And because when you have other people underneath you, you need to be able to say this is exactly how we do things, and that was hard to do. I had to really dig deep and be how do I make things happen that way? And so that was just a kind of a struggle over a couple of years, being how do I replicate somebody else to do exactly what I'm doing? That was kind of tricky.
Yeah, it definitely seems tricky. But so what kind of characteristics do you look for in the people that you hire?
So all the people that I hire have actually come to me, and I've never posted a thing online saying I'm looking for an intern, or I'm looking for an editor, and I think because of that, they have this striking amount of initiative, because they're I would love to do what you're doing, or I want to work with you, or I want to learn from you. And because they have that initiative, it projects onto a ton of other characteristics that they have.
Definitely.
They're really self-motivated. They think outside the box. They're not just applying to a job they saw online, maybe,
Yeah.
So it's cool that they have really kind of created a position for themselves. Really need to be self-driven, because ideally they're doing things that I can't do myself, and so I'm allowing them to learn that, and I would need them to be able to be driven enough to learn that on their own. So really self-motivated, for sure.
Definitely, that's super important.
Totally.
Have you ever had to deal with firing anyone?
I did maybe it was 2 years ago. It was so bad. There was, I'm going to call it a miscommunication, but it was really, back to the struggles, learning that need to have contracts in place, and just really clear expectations of what your employees will do. And she actually had taken some of my pictures and created an entire website of photos that she had taken from my photo shoots.
And not give you credit?
And not give me credit. And that was a little,
Well,
and technically she took the photos, but because it was my styling and my lighting and my posing and everything, a lot of artistic elements that went in, it would be if somebody painted, looked at a Picasso painting and painted it and was this is mine.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of technically you painted it, but really you didn't.
No, it's copyright.
Yeah, totally. And so, and she didn't really understand that it was wrong, and it was really hard, and she cried, and it was just so sucky, and I was it was a judgment call that she did poorly, and I had to be I don't have room for those kind of poor judgment calls on my team. So that was awful.
It seems awful, but it's definitely a learning experience.
Totally.
I think that's really great.
Thank you.
So thank you so much
You're
for
so
letting
welcome.
me interview you.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you
Great
can make
time.
this happen.